This is Farming News 24, your latest news in farming.
So yeah, everyone is amped up for the number, and everyone who's going there, it's going to be fantastic, actually fabulous. So just go out there, enjoy. But one thing that I want to put into everyone's mind is make sure that you use this time to your own benefit. What I mean is make sure that you visit all the stalls that you want, information from. Because as much as this is just, a farmer's day where everyone across South Africa goes to see farming and farmers and everything touching farming in South Africa, just make sure that you as a farmer, you as an aspiring farmer, or as a scientist, or if you have any business which is farming related, make sure that you ask those questions that have been keeping you up at night, like what are the new trends, where to invest, any opportunities that are coming through for farmers or farming industry in South Africa. Look at many other things and make sure that you interact and engage with, if you see a farmer, just go up to him or her and say, hey man, I'm a farmer farming in this location, and I think I'm having troubles with one, two, three. And you'll be surprised how open farmers are, and they'll engage with you, and hopefully they'll assist you with your troubles. Remember, NAMPO is Green SA, so we can't talk about NAMPO without talking about greens. So right now, what I have is a crop estimate for the year 2026, and it was taken from Green SA. Shout out to Green SA for providing such, good information. And so, as you can tell, we have white maize leading the scoreboard with 1.6 million hectares planted for 2025-2026 season, and followed by soybeans with 1.2 million hectares, and then we go up to yellow maize with 1 million hectares, and then it goes to sunflower with 500,000 hectares planted for the 2025-2026 season, followed by sorghum with 45,000 hectares, groundnuts with 44,000 hectares, and lastly, you have dry beans with 40,950 hectares, which is planted for the 2025-2026 season. Now, let me just talk about how this thing is structured. You might have white maize leading the board with having farmers planting, with most of the grain farmers planting white maize, which is 1.5 million hectares. And then you have, the least farmers planting dry beans, which is about 40,000 hectares, which is like a mini fraction of what, white maize is. It's not, I don't know. I think when it comes to percentages, I don't know. I think it's less than 5%, or is it 5%? I'm not sure. But then when you look at so these are the when I'm talking about hectare margins, right? So the areas that is planted. But then when you then convert it to, the cost involved, the returns involved,
You'd be surprised to find that the least planted crop or grain, which as you can see, it's dry beans, you're looking at 1 ton. So 1,000 kilogram of dry beans going above 24,000 rand a ton in a good season. Also, it depends on the time, the supply, the demand, the market, what it looks like. But fairly, it will range between 15,000 to about 25, sometimes even 27,000 rand a ton. And when you look at 1 ton of maize, you're looking at sometimes it has reached 2,700 rand a ton. And once in a lifetime, it will go above 4,700, 5,000 rand a ton. Mostly it will be like white maize. But here we're just talking about numbers, we're not talking about the production side, what comes into, into each and every farmer's mind before they decide which crop to go for. But in short, this is what we are expecting as a country to harvest this coming season. And best of luck to all the farmers, especially grain farmers who had to, fight for this season to be a success. So yeah, white maize, we're expecting about roughly 9 million tons to be produced by us. And I foresee it repeating what we had last season. where we had more grade 2s and 3s and less of grade 1s, because the season, it's these late rains and floods are definitely going to be a problem when it comes to our maize quality. And then we have yellow maize at about 8 million tons, followed by soybeans at about 3 million tons. And then we have sunflower at about 800,000 tons. And then it's sorghum at about 140,000 tons, followed by dry beans at about 80,000 tons, and lastly groundnut at just about 70,000 tons. And then these are just the suffix prices, which guides the farmer and also the trader on how the price looks like at the market. And as you can tell, currently for white maize, we're looking between May and June about 3,400 rand a ton of white maize. And then we go to yellow maize, where we look at the price between May till July, about 3,400, 500 again. Sunflower, you're looking at 8,700 to about 8,900 from May till July. And lastly, wheat, between May till July, you're looking at about 5,800 to about 5,900. Thank you.